y'all doing today? Happy Saturday. Wait, not only is it Saturday, guess what? It's a little chill. Yes. No more hot weather. Yes. I got my fingers crossed because we all know that it could be sunshine and tomorrow, and maybe next weekend it could be a blizzard. We already know that. But I got my fingers crossed. Happy November, everybody. Welcome to the first Saturday of November. Yes. How y'all doing? I missed y'all. It has been 7 whole days since I seen y'all. Wow. I hope everybody had a great week, an awesome week. And you know what? I'm going to tell you something. It doesn't matter if your week was good, if your week was bad, you encountered some highs and some lows. It's okay. Don't worry about it. Just don't stay in that space. Get up, dust yourself off, and start all over again because you get another opportunity. Right? Yes. Okay. So, I like to kick off the show with some fun facts. And guess what? My fun fact today is going to be the history of a telephone. And I decided to do that because it bothers me so bad that when I'm walking down the street, people are not paying attention because they're in their phone. And if you bump them, they look at you like, why didn't you move out the way? You saw me. No, get out of your phone and pay attention, and you're walking. So I just wanted to do a little research to see how far we have came with this phone thing. So let's jump into these fun facts, right? So in 1876, Alexander Graham Bell received the first U.S. patent for the telephone. Now, March 10th of that same year, 1876, Bell made the first successful telephone call to his assistant, and his assistant's name was Thomas Watson. In 1877, the first permanent outdoor telephone wire was completed, and the first commercial telephone service began in the U.S. In 1878, the first working telephone exchange was developed, allowing subscribers to be connected without direct lines. In 1891, Almond Stroger, an undertaker, invented the first automatic telephone switching system to bypass human operators. So let's just stop right there. In 1891, this gentleman wanted to bypass human operators. That was in 1891. Let's talk about currently right now. AI is replacing humans. So you see how things just come around back in full circle. I just made that connection. It may not even be true, but it sounds true. In the 1900s, the first coin-operated telephone was installed in Hartford, Connecticut. In 1915, the transcontinental, which means extending or going across continents, telephone services was established in the U.S. So going all around the continents, we were able to make a telephone call. Now, in 1927, the first transatlantic, which involves countries on both sides of the Atlantic Ocean, the U.S. and Great Britain. Telephone calls were made between London and New York. In 1946, the first mobile phone service was demonstrated, which involved installing phones in cars. You remember the car phones? Wait, let's go back. You remember the pay phones, the payphone booths? I remember all that. I think I'm telling my age. But then when you had a car phone, back in those days, you were considered well off, like you had a lot of money. because you had a phone in your car. Now, in the late 20th century, the development of wireless technology led to certain creations of cellular phones and the decline of landlines. Now, that's true. But right now, today, I still know people who have their landline phones, still until this day. And also in 2008, Spotify launched. Presently, today, smartphones have been the multifunctional devices for communications and so much more. So, man, that's a lot to know about the creation of a phone. I don't know about you, but I like to know where things come from and if I can make a past connection to a current connection. So, way back in the days, they wanted to bypass human contact. Now, AI is coming in and taking over. People, you better be ready and be prepared. That's all I got to say. Be ready and be prepared. Now, we are in November, so I want to say happy birthday to all the November birthdays out there. If you are celebrating, please, please, please be careful, take your time, and enjoy yourself. Conduct yourself accordingly. I have a special birthday for November. Rest in heaven, Granny, my grandmother. Also, can you please like, love, comment, and share this content? It is free content. Again, we don't know who we can help. We don't know who needs to hear this information. Just because you're close with someone, whether it's friends, cousin, sister, aunt, niece, that doesn't mean that person is going to tell you every single thing. Some people suffer in silence and they do it well. So share the content because you never know who you're going to help. I want to take a minute and I want us to just say a prayer for the Caribbean where Hurricane Melissa hit. Hurricane Melissa did a lot of damage and it's going to take a lot of rebuilding, restoring, getting people's lives back together. And I want to say thank you to everyone that called me, that texted me, showed up at my door because they know that I'm married to someone from Jamaica. My wife is from Jamaica. Our son and our grandchildren are over there, and we had not heard from them in about 4 days. And they reached out to us on late Thursday. So thank you everybody just who chimed in and supported and still sending that support. I truly, truly appreciate you. Guess what? Those are my announcements. Oh, I'm sorry. One more thing. Also, when you go into prayer, let's pray for that Caribbean. It was Haiti, it was Jamaica, it was the Bahamas, Cuba. Let's just pray, period. Just because. Pray without ceasing. That's what the word says. So, want to say hello to everyone that's taking the time out on their Saturday to tune in to Let's Talk Finance. Hello, Mr. Owens. What's going on? Hello, Andre. I love you so much. Thank you. I know my sister is watching as always. Thank you to everyone. I truly appreciate you. The support is definitely needed. Again, share this content. Hit that share button, please. You want us to talk about something, please send us that feedback and we will talk about anything you want us to, as long as it's going with your finances and it's going to help somebody. So today on Let's Talk Finance, we're in a brand new month. So when we get to November, I like to do a lot of reflecting. And from the business aspect, I want to think about the year. What happened? What did I do? What didn't go so well? What could I have done better? It's reflection. So I'm getting ready to go into a whole nother year. I don't want to make the same mistakes. But as I began to do my research when it came to gratitude, gratitude is more than just reflection, right? it goes beyond words. And, you know, as I was talking to a great constituent of mine, the question came about was, when was the last time you put gratitude into action? And I didn't know how to answer that question. I asked for a couple days because I didn't know the extent of the question. And, as we began to talk, I just began to think and ponder. So we're thankful for the month of November. And that goes without being said, right? We want to honor our veterans and, of course, Thanksgiving. Hello, Dr. Fortman. Yo, I'm sorry. Let me interrupt this. If you have not caught her show, Relationship Matters, this lady is so powerful. Also, she's another person that I admire that is never in the state of Illinois. She is always traveling and speaking on relationships. Catch her show. I was actually on her show too. Okay. So sorry. But also with this month, we want to put our thankfulness into action. And so another one of the questions came up was, how do you show gratitude through the way you live, give, and manage what you have been trusted with? And, that took me by surprise because I had never had anyone to ask me that question. And I also took it by surprise because, again, I'm reflecting, and she tells me it's go beyond reflection, Shavonna, because your mind goes all over the place. And I said, give me 2 days. I'm going to come back with a book report. And I did. So my questions to you all that's listening, and just drop your comments in. When was the last time you put your gratitude into action? And how do you show gratitude through the way you live, give, and manage by what you've been trusted with? And I would like to say, I show gratitude with what I've been trusted with, because your secrets become my secrets. If you're in trouble, you don't stay in trouble, because I'm here to help you get out of that trouble. I want you to know that there's light at the end of the tunnel, no matter how dark it seems. We're going to see some light. But with this relationship, I need you to trust me. I need you to, because that's what this relationship is going to be formed on, trust. And then everything else is going to fall into play. Also, how I give back. I do these financial shows every Saturday. I don't charge for it. I also bring in people to help educate other people. I don't charge for that. And people come in on their Saturdays. So that's how I give back. I don't want nothing in return. What I want is the content to be shared, people to have takeaways, and people to learn something from the actual content that we're sharing. Because it takes time to do the research. No matter if we're an expert in this, we still have to do our research and our due diligence. Also, I give free consultations. I don't charge you to talk to you, because how can I help you and I don't know what's going on? That's not how I'm going to get my blessing. I don't get my blessing by robbing people. Somebody once listened to me and I didn't have to pay anything. So why can't I pay that forward? So when she told me to reflect, and I started reflecting on what I do, and I just got excited, and it was just this feeling of sensation, like, whoa, okay, you are putting it into action. So since you're putting it into action, let's talk about it. Let's see if everyone else is putting it into action. So we're going to start with our topic of financial stewardship. And in order for us to understand financial stewardship, we define financial stewardship as responsible management of your money, resources, and time. Money, resources, and time. You can't get time back. And in most cases, you can't get money back. So we have to learn how to put things in perspective. Financial stewardship is the responsibility and ethical management of money and other resources, which means that if you set a long-term goal, be ready to act on that long-term goal. You can't just say, in 5 years, I'm going to buy a house, but you do nothing to get that house. You don't save no money. You're barely going to work. You're not meeting with your accountant or your tax preparer. Your taxes are not even done. So you can't set that long-term goal and you're not putting anything into action. You have to budget wisely and plan strategically using ethical decision making. Now, me and my good business project manager always talk about planning, planning. And, she actually gets on me so much because I will call her today and say, hey, guess what? I got something to tell you. I'm going to tell you on Thursday, December 4th. And I'm just making up that date. But when that time comes, that's when I'm going to tell her what happened, although so much other stuff has happened. And I'm planning ahead. And she's setting up things strategically. So when we come together, we now have a foundation. We know where we're going. With this stewardship, let me tell you what you're going to encounter. Responsibility. That's the first. You have to be responsible. You have to be responsible for yourself. No one is going to be responsible for you. We are adults. We have to be responsible. And that's such a big word, but we can do it if we put our mind to it. And with that responsibility, you have to be committed to what you're doing. So if you're committed to getting up, going to work every day, you have to commit to what it is you're going to do. I'm committed to helping people with their finances. I'm committed to telling people, listen, doesn't matter if you're in trouble with the federal or state entities. Anointed Accounting is here to help you. It doesn't matter if you have not filed taxes in 10 years. Anointed Accounting is here to help you. I'm committed to that. So we have a relationship. And the thing about me in relationships is I don't let go unless I necessarily have to. And I don't really let go because I'm selfish. I got to keep it to myself. And because we didn't form this relationship, we didn't have these conversations, we didn't share intimate conversations about these finances, why would I want to start all over again? No, I'm committed. You have to have ethical conduct. Shavonna, what do you mean by having ethical conduct? Integrity. Anointed Accounting stands on integrity. My godfather fussed at me from tax years, just years period, 2017 through 2021, he fussed at me. You need to open up your company. You need to do this. You need to do that. You have the wherewithal. Just do it. And I told him no, because I don't want to just pick any name. I want to think about my name. I want to talk to other people about the name of my company, and I want to pray about it. I don't want to just jump head in because I see people that do that and I'm fixing their problems. I don't want to do that. So I'm going to take my time with it. So I appreciate information that people give me because they rely on me. They trust that I'm going to stand on my word. They trust that I'm going to do what I said that I was going to do. And this goes way beyond due diligence. That's where our integrity is at. You got to be honest. You got to tell the truth, no matter how much it's going to hurt. So, for example, you have someone that come to your office and they say, look, I don't have any kids, but I know I could get more money filing kids. Well, guess what? That statement is true, but Anointed Accounting is not going to do that because we don't falsify tax returns. We tell the truth. So it may hurt you to not get no money back right now, but in the long run, when they catch you, it's going to hurt you because you're going to have to pay all that back plus more. So I would strongly, strongly encourage you to do it the right way. Now, if you choose not to, and go somewhere else, I have nothing to do with that. I was upfront and honest with you. Making financial decisions, whether you're an entrepreneur or an individual like me, you have to make financial decisions, whether it's paying the light bill, paying the gas bill, paying the credit card bill, whatever decision that is, you need to make that financial decision. You don't want to let it fall by the wayside, because then you miss it. And you don't want to do that, because now you're bringing on more stress and more problems that is not needed. You want to focus on the right now. What can I do right now? I have to take care of this right now because it's done. Now, when I get done with this, I'm going to move to something else, because now I'm a step ahead of the game. I done planned strategically. So now I know what's at the forefront of what I'm supposed to do. I always want to be a step ahead of the game. And that's in business and personal. You know, a lot of my friends talk about me when I was planning gatherings. Like, if I was having a birthday party for my birthday next year, I'd have started planning the beginning of this year. Mind you, I don't invite no more than 10 or 15 people, but I'm starting to plan right now. And most of my planning is going to come on the food that I want to have there. And that takes a lot, because just because I want that doesn't mean that somebody else may want that. And I'm trying to be mindful of all the guests that I have coming. So it's strategic planning in it. Although they make fun of me, it still goes fairly well, because I have a plan A, B, and C. And then I have a plan to back up plan A, B, and C. Now, also with this, you have to have effective management. That is so important. Very important. You know, we look at management as on the job, listening to your manager, doing what the management team says. But what about you yourself? Who manages you? That's you. You manage you. Every day you get up, you manage you. And that's just that. We all know that our Heavenly Father manages us overall. But when you step out that bed, you are responsible for you and everything that happens within that day. So you have to be mindful of what it is that you're doing and where you're going. With that effective management, here comes a budget. And whether it's for entrepreneur or individual, you need to have a budget. Individuals, what is your budget? Because if something doesn't get paid, you didn't budget right. You mismanaged your money. Time and time again, I hear people say, and I tell them, oh my God, you made $100,000. And they say, where, Shavonna? I don't see it. I didn't see none of that money. And a lot of people blame it on the taxes that's being withheld. No, that is not true. What about those who go exempt? You can't blame that on taxes. And even though taxes are being withheld, my question to you is, are you living outside of your means? What does your monthly household budget look like? What does it look like? Your budget should match your income, which means you should have something left over. And if you don't, what are you doing? What is something that you can do to let go of something? Is it a need? Is it a priority? And in business, are you budgeting right? What is your budget? Because you're going to want to go for contracts. You may want to advertise differently. You may want to go to another company for printing materials. Is that within the budget? I know I am so over the top, and it's really hard to please me, especially when it comes to marketing materials. So when my IT professional comes back and say, well, okay, Shavonna, the invoice for these packets and these envelopes and this printing is $2,000, I can't get mad, because I know that's the best. That's what I went for. Track your spending. I say it time and time again. Everything starts and ends with a transaction. You have to know where your money is coming and going. You have to track your money. You know, I used to laugh at my mom because every month she used to balance her checkbook. But it helped me more as I got into my field of accounting, because she knew where every dime was. She was not off by a penny. And if she was going back to find that penny. That's me. I have to know where every penny goes. Hey, big brother, thanks for joining in. So look, track your spending. Know what's coming in and out your house and your business. Plan ahead. It's so important to plan ahead because you account for things. That's where project management comes in. I'm so grateful for my project manager. I run everything through her. Everything. From we talk almost every day sometimes, and when I don't feel like talking, she get about 26 voice memos from me because I don't want to talk on the phone. I done talked on the phone all day. Let me just send you a message. But we plan. We always have a game plan, because when we did it the way that I wanted to do it without planning, it didn't always go so well. So that's why we are big on planning. Use your resources efficiently. Yes, you have to use your resources. And let me give you an example what I mean by that. Dr. Fortman, I love her. I think Dr. Fortman is a StreamYard guru. So you can't talk to anyone on StreamYard. You have to go through AI. And that was not working for me. Not at all. I did a little Googling. My business project did some Googling. We did some testing. And probably after like an hour or so, when I was just fed up and I felt myself crying about it, I said, I know a guru. I'm going to talk to Dr. Forbin and have her to come over here and give me a tutorial. And we laughed and she said, I am not a guru, but she showed me how to work StreamYard. And that's how I know who on the live feed. Boom. Hey, yes. Statement of cash flow is essential. Absolutely right. I'm glad I got another accountant on board with me. You have to know your cash flow. That's so important. So important. Also, you have to have goal alignments. Are your finances lining up with your purpose? So again, let's assume you want to buy that house. Is your finances lining up with that? Are you putting everything in order? Are you saving your receipts? Are you creating that profit and loss statement? Are you asking those financial questions when you sit down with your preparer? Wait, stop. Have you even made the appointment to sit down and talk with your preparer or your accountant? Again, that goes all the way back to what I started with, being responsible and then planning. Now you have a long-term vision. What does your vision look like for your company? For me, I want to be global. I want to go everywhere. And not just to do taxes, I want to talk about finances, because finances is a major role in our society. There is nothing free. There's a lot of ways you can mistreat money. So I want to help you not mistreat that money. I want to teach you about that, because what I know, I can tell you, and then you can share it. And now we done made a difference because somebody didn't know that before now. There you go. Then you want to have generational wealth. What's left over for your children, your children's children? Have you planned for that? That is so important. God even talks about that in the Bible. Generational wealth. What have you left for your children and your children's children? And it's so important, because if we look back and there's nothing left, now we get anxiety, or we figure that, well, I'm too old, we can't do it. No, stop thinking like that. That is not true. And speaking of that, I have a very special guest. Matter of fact, November, we got some excellent shows coming up, right? So next week, we have Mr. James Owens, the advocate wellness gentleman, is going to be out here talking about mutual funds, investment, IRAs, savings. And one of my questions to him when I spoke to him was, what if you're almost 50? Can you start now? Is it possible to be comfortable in the next 15, 20 years? And he looked at me eye to eye and said, yes, it is, Shavonna, and I can show you how. I can guarantee you can do it. I was sold. So you don't want to miss that workshop that we're having next week from 3:15 to 5:15. I strongly advise you to show up and attend to that, because that is going to help you. Again, putting them finances in order, having accountability. Do you have accountability for what's going on? Making those decisions, meeting those timelines. Like, are you doing what you're supposed to do? And not just as an entrepreneur, but for yourself. You don't know who's looking up at you. You don't know who you're mentoring. A lot of times you hear me make fun of my brother because all he talked about to us and my nieces and nephews was, you got to have a career. You can't just have a job. Listen, when you leave out of Northern, everything was Northern, 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 accounting, 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 career, career, career. And then it was my sister. My other sister, Nisi, was in college and Benita was in the military, and everybody was just doing something. And I'm like, wow, don't nobody just want to hang out and party no more? Like, what is this coming to? But now I realize the importance of all that, because all of them set a goal for me. All of them made me want to do something with my life and become something. And they were my role models, not even knowing that they were my role models. And those conversations that my brother had was funny, and I laughed at them, but they are so meaningful. And the conversations I would have with my sister, they were so powerful that I can still remember them verbatim. So while you're doing that, making these decisions and being accountable, you would be surprised how you are putting your stewardship in action. So now we're going to talk about how we can combine stewardship, action, and gratitude. Now, let me give you a scenario. Let's just say you've been blessed with resources such as money, skills, knowledge, opportunities. Managing them wisely shows you respect for those blessings. Let me tell you what I mean by that. My constituents, if you tuned in to July 26th show, you know I'm talking about Pendleton Quick Tax and Angels Tax Services. Although we are accountants, we help each other. Just yesterday, I had several questions about taxes that for the life of me, I could not find. And I felt like I had lost every knowledge that I had because something just didn't sit well with me. So I reached out to both of them, had several conversations with them, and they both said, Shavonda, nothing's wrong. You're right. Try looking at it from this aspect, though. Let's try it this way and see if that will come out better, if that's what you're looking for. So we help each other. Miss Angel, she will call me and ask me a payroll question in a minute, and I'll call her and ask her about a non-refundable credit in a minute. The same with Miss K at Pendleton Quick Tax. Budgeting and saving instead of wasting money. A lot of us do that. You have to save. And sometimes when I hear people say, I ain't got no money, I'm hungry, so let me DoorDash or Uber Eats. You got to have some money because the fees on Uber Eats and DoorDash is higher than the food that you're going to potentially get. Why not take that money, go to the grocery store, get maybe a week's worth of food and cook? And if you eat leftovers, that week can turn into 10 days. Let's be mindful about what it is that we're doing. What is a priority? Like me, I love, oh my God, I love self-care. I love it. But unfortunately, I can't go out there and do what I was doing like I was once upon a time. So what is my priority? Somewhere to lay my head. The others will come when it's time to come. But right now, this is what's important. And we got to know when to make those distinctions. Being responsible with your finances is a tangible way of saying thank you. And it is, because you, again, have to be responsible. Notice how that word keeps coming up, responsible. Hey, Chris, what's going on? Thank you for tuning in. You say thank you because you're putting your finances in order. You're being respectful of the finances that you have. You reach out and you use those resources, and you're not ashamed or afraid of that. So that's how you're saying thank you. It demonstrates appreciation, not only for what you've been given, but also to the people that help impact you. It is so important that you do that. So I know I done said a lot to you, but as I done said that, let me pose two questions to you. When you think about gratitude, do you see it as something you feel or something you do? Second question, how can our financial decisions reflect the people and causes we care about? I look at everything from a financial aspect in most times. So I look at that questions a lot of ways, but I would like for y'all to drop it in the comments. Let me know what y'all think about those two questions. Again, when you think about gratitude, do you see it as something you feel or something you do? And how can our financial decisions reflect the people and causes we care about? And it so can on so many ways, on so many levels. Now, we're going to jump into how gratitude helps build financial choices in a practical way, right? So, supporting charitable causes and community programs. Some of those programs is the Alzheimer's Association, Feeding America, St. Jude Research, and the UNICEF, which is the United Nations Children Fund. Also, right now, we just had a big devastating that I talked about earlier, Hurricane Melissa. It's so much that you can do as far as gratitude, whether it's praying, whether you send food over there, whether you donate, whatever it is that you're doing, that's a charitable contribution that you're giving. Your time is also considered charitable. Investing in your family's future. What does that look like for you? Savings, education, emergency funds. Do any of us have that money now? And so as I was talking to my business constituents about that, and I said, we're blessed, because what if that was us? And one of my business constituents said, you know what, Shavonna, if it was us, I don't have a dime saved to my name. And I understood that on so many levels. So that's why it's important for us to try to save, no matter how big or small. We have to start somewhere. And that's why that workshop that I'm having next Saturday is going to be so important, because traditional IRAs and 401ks and investing will help us get a long way. Let's talk about your initial tax deduction. Your contributions, did you know that when you have contributions, that becomes a tax deduction? Again, who does not like tax deductions? That lowers your taxable income. So when we get to the bottom of that page and we got taxable income and then the tax on that taxable income, that tax could be lower because the taxable income is lower because of the contributions. Your investments, they grow over time, compound investments, whether you have entrance, dividends, or capital gains. That's also a deduction for you on your tax return, depending on if you have a gain or a loss. When you get those 1099-Bs in, you need to turn that into your preparer. You need to be mindful of how much you're receiving and what's going out. How is that going to impact your tax situation? Those are conversations you need to sit down and have with your preparer. Them 401ks, them IRA accounts, that's tax-free withdrawals. You make contributions after tax dollars, there's no immediate deduction. However, it's tax-free if you're under 59 and a half. So that's something you need to know. Have you had these conversations? Did you know having a 529, which is an educational plan, that helps with your tax situation? that is a write-off for you. Again, that's helping you. Are you aware of this information? Yes? No? If so, get with Anointed Accounting. Watch these shows. Share these shows because the content is there. You'd be surprised how many calls and questions we get about what can we deduct? What can't we deduct? Long term versus short term. Know which goals and gains that you're in. Is it a long-term gain? Is it a short-term gain? Know how that's going to impact your tax situation. You have to sit down and talk with your preparer. Planning and budgeting reduces stress. Time and time again, I have so many clients that come in here and they're so stressed. They're very stressed. You just see the stress on their face. And I just sit and I laugh with every client in here. I laugh with everyone and tell them it's not that bad. I promise you, it could be worse than what it is. I promise you, after we get done with this, you're going to be smiling. Now, it may take some time because it took you time to get to the situation you're at. But by the time we get done, you're going to be in a much better space. And at that moment, right after that, you see a sign of relief because now it's a weight lifted because they trust me, because I stand on the service that we provide. I stand on the information. The information I give you, I could also give you those resources because it's so important. Consult with the financial planner. That is so important that you consult with the financial planner when you're doing anything. There is no law that states you have to be rich to have an accountant. There is no law that says you have to be rich to have an accounting firm backing you. There is no law that states you have to be a multi-billionaire to have a financial planner and or accountant. Whoever has told you that, tell them to show you where it's written. That is not true at all. I don't care if you make $2,000 a year. That $2,000 could go a long way. You want to know how to manage and save it? Talk to an accountant. They can help you. It doesn't matter where you're coming from. Reduce your expenses that are not necessary. So let's just say you have 12 streaming apps. Sling, Howdy, Netflix, Hulu. Oh, let's say you got all 12 of them. Do you necessarily need all 12 apps? Do you? Do you need them right now? Whatever it is you don't need, get rid of it because now you're saving yourself money. Them twos and fews add up. If you add up that monthly amount, let's just say it's $20 a month. That's $240 you done saved by getting rid of that account if you don't necessarily need it. Hey, Joy, thanks for tuning in. Hey, Aunt Tootie. So, I have another question for you all. And again, we're talking about finances. Have you ever made a financial decision that felt like an act of gratitude? How did it impact you? And yes, I have. I do a lot of stuff. It just depends on the mood I'm in. Like, it has been a time I have been sitting up here with the client, and at the end of the service, they say, okay, Shavonna, how much I owe you? Oh, nothing. This on me today. And the looks that I get, like, what? Are you sure? Yes, I'm sure. Have a good day. Get out. I got another client waiting. And so I don't give them time to try to force the money on me because you're not going to knock my blessing. Go bless somebody else. That's what I tell them to do with that. Pay it forward. Go bless somebody else because I'm going to get my blessing. So the action steps that you can take regarding everything that we have talked about here today. And I know we've talked about a lot. We've covered so much information, and I try to give you all a lot of information within the 60 minutes that I'm on here. But I want you to sit back and think about you. I want you to sit back and think about your finances and how impactful it is to you. I want you to sit down because we only got one more month in this year. And Instead of just doing reflecting, put it into action. Start now because it's right in front of you. You don't have to wait. You can start now doing small things. Well, let me start getting my budget ready for next year. If I do have 401k and I have 3% coming out, let me see if I could afford to have 5% coming out. Well, I'm getting an increase at work potentially. I want to know how that's going to affect me and what tax bracket that's going to take me to. Now I'm going to make this call and set up a consultation with my accountant and or my preparer. I'm going to budget more because I need to know where my money is going. If you are telling me this is how much money I make, and I'm telling you that I don't see this, there's a problem. So let me start working on my end to see what it is that I can do to get ahead of the game. These are small steps that you can take. Review your current budget and spending habits. Oh, I cut down a lot of spending. Like at once upon a time, Uber was my friend. If I was going down the block, I was getting in the Uber. Guess what? Not at all. If it's within a 5-mile radius, I'm walking there and I'm walking back home. Absolutely. You're not finna get my money. No, not at all. So I got rid of that expense. I don't have to travel so far when I can stay right in the community. Going out of the community is costing me money when I don't have to spend that money. So now I could save that money. So review your budget, whether it's your personal budget and or your business budget. Monitor your credit report. I don't care whether your credit report is bad, good, or indifferent. If you at a 300, a negative 300 to a 700, review it. You want to know what is attached to your name and your social. Be nosy about you. It's okay to be nosy about you because trust me, somebody else out there looking, but you want to be a step ahead of them. Know what's attached to you. Don't wait till the last end and you're like, oh my God, I didn't know this. A lot of this stuff is free. But if you don't know how to access it and you're not aware that it's free, you're not going to go out there and do it because you don't think that it revolves around you when it does. It's so important. Review your health insurance, your insurance period, your life insurance. Know what you are protected under. Know what's covered. Know the deductible. That's important. Know where your money is going. Be able to account for it. Business owners, and this is for you, get you some business insurance. If you do not have business insurance, please get you some business insurance. It is so important. Anything can happen. Anything can happen. It is so important to get you some business insurance. Get you cyber insurance. I am with State Farm and I have their errors and omissions insurance. I have their cyber attack insurance and I have business insurance. And I told him, give me any insurance that's going to protect me and my company, period. I don't care if a gang of ants decide to build themselves up as a giant and walk through this house. I want some insurance that's going to cover that. And my agent laughed at me when I gave her that scenario, but she knew what I meant. Get limited liability insurance. That will help you. That's so important. A lot of business owners, especially if you're in that construction field, get you workers' compensation insurance. State Farm also offers that. Price out these insurance. Talk to these insurance people because when you call, keep in mind, they're trying to make a quota and a sale. Everything sounds good. No, take your time. Do your research. Do your due diligence. Because again, this is going to be attached to you. This is money that you're going to be spending. Identify the money that you're pushing out. What is it going to? Is it going to help you or hinder you? How does it serve purpose? Is it aligning with your goals that you set? Is it aligning with what you have planned for the future, whether it's short term or long term? Are you investing properly? Are you investing what's right? These are questions that's okay to ask. Again, this is about you. Me, let me tell you, I'm so thorough when it comes to spending money. I want an itemized receipt. I'm going to go over that receipt and make sure it's supposed to be the price that it's supposed to be. And I'm going to know how much tax is on there. Did you know that some restaurants are still charging a percentage at checkout due to COVID? I didn't know that until recently, until someone just brought it to my attention. And when I saw it on my receipt, I politely told the waiter, I'm sorry, can I speak to a manager? Because I don't feel I should have to pay this. And they said, oh, okay, no problem. We'll remove it. Yes, a lot of people are so unaware of the smallest things. That's why it's best to have these conversations. Set one financial goal for the rest of the year that aligns with your values. That is so important. Set one goal, and you can make it your short-term goal. Again, today is November 1st. We end the year December 31st. If you want to set one small goal, maybe that goal may to be, I want to save $75 by December 31st. That's my goal. I want to set that because I'm in business for myself. I want to get this new printer and I just got to have it. So I got to save for it. So if I get half now, I'm sure I'll get that other half because now I'm setting small goals for myself. I'm not saying let me go put up the money right now knowing that I don't have it because I have other priorities. I want to be responsible for what I'm doing. I want to make those financial decisions, the best way that I see fit. I want to plan strategically. And with me doing all this, I want to be responsible in doing what I'm setting myself up to do for my long-term and short-term goals. This is not just for me as an entrepreneur, but also for me personally, because what you do personally can also go into what you do for your business if you don't set it up the right way. That's so important. So, I got something to read to you. I want you to know that gratitude is more than a feeling. It becomes powerful when we turn it into an action. Don't you feel good when you do something nice for somebody? I feel so good when I had a brand new client call me yesterday, and at the end of the call, he said, Shavonna, I have not slept in days, but I'm going to sleep good tonight. Thank you. Like, I'm so happy you talked to me. Just having a conversation, I feel so much better. You don't know what that did to me. All that just lit fire under me. And that shows that I'm thankful. Now, by intentionally managing our money, taking advantage of tax breaks and deductions, which is so important because, as you all are aware, the big beautiful bill is out and there have been a lot of changes with this bill. I've been getting a lot of questions on this bill. Yes, Anointed Accounting is going to talk about the bill next year. We're going to line up some shows and give you all the information when it comes to the education, the health, the housing, and the tax side. So we are going to be here to help you and service you. The reason I have not talked about it now is because there's still so many changes that's going on with the bill. We want to wait until we hit January. Planning for the future will show thanks for what we've been given. In other words, gratitude leads to action, and action leads to financial stewardship. Using our resources wisely to honor ourselves, our families, and our communities. I definitely want to do that. You know, if I go, I want to make sure that I've left not just enough for my family, but also for my friends and for my church. I want to do that because that's me. I thank you, period. And this is me saying thank you even when I'm gone. And I want to leave that legacy. Again, I want to be global. I want anointed accounting everywhere in every language. I got Rosetta Stone. I sit up here and try to learn a word a day. I haven't been that successful. I know about 3 words, but it don't matter. I'm working on it. And I hope to meet somebody in every country so they can teach me some words. That's a long time goal of mine. That's what I want to do because money is money, no matter what country or state you go to. Money is money, and you got to know how to handle your money. Period. That's just my philosophy. I don't know about you, but that's my philosophy. So, next week, and I know I done said this a couple times, please don't miss this show. I know I've been flooding social media, but I have a special guest, the financial wellness advocate, James Owens. He is actually coming out, and this gentleman is going to talk to us about IRAs, mutual funds, investing. Like, we're doing a whole 2-hour workshop. We're opening up the phone lines, everything. Have your beverages ready, have your pens ready to take down notes. If you technical, I'm sure you're going to have your tablets and your computers ready, even your phones. But don't miss out on this opportunity. Again, this is free. I can't think of a place where you can go to where someone is going to tell you how to invest and save and they don't charge you for it. I'm not saying it's not out there. I'm just not aware of it. But he's the owner of Money Works Financial Wellness LLC. And we're going to dive into retirement planning, IRAs, SEP accounts, mutual funds, and more. James will share practical strategies to help you secure your money for the future. He wants your money to work for you. This young man told me, he said, I don't want to work forever. I want my money to work for me. I just want to sit there and collect money. That's it. And I can do that. And I was like, okay, I want to do that too then. So I want all y'all to get on board, share this content. You just, again, you don't know who you're going to help. Shavonna M. Allen Jackson, I thank you all so much for spending your Saturdays with me. I thank you for tuning in, listening to me. If you stay the whole time, if you stay and leave, or even if you go back and watch it, I thank you for the love and the support. That means so much to me. That lets me know that somebody out here wants to do something better. Somebody is trying. As my pastor once told me, an old cliche, the teacher will appear when the student is ready. So that lets me know that people want to learn. They want to know how to grab and get a handle on things. So again, we are on all social media platforms under Anointed Accounting, ANOINTED on all social media platforms. Our website is www.anointedaccounting.com, www.anointedaccounting.com. Our telephone number is area code 312-837-7219. If you have not done so, please go over to YouTube. Subscribe to the YouTube channel. Go back and rewatch some of those shows. I guarantee you some of the questions that you're struggling with, those questions have been answered. We also post a lot of information on our social media pages. If you see the information, tag in, jump in. We love that feedback. We love that interaction. We love that conversation. We love hearing from you. Like, we don't just stop at the round table. All of us are the round and rectangular table. Everybody's opinion matters to me, period. And again, that's what Anointed Accounting stands for. We are here to help, support, and continue to provide a safe space. Again, if you're celebrating a birthday this month, I like birthday cake. Send me a piece, but have fun, enjoy, conduct yourself in decency and in order. Have a great upcoming week. Let's continue to keep the Caribbean and Jamaica in our prayers. We don't want to forget about them. I look forward to seeing you next week. Everybody have a good, satisfying weekend and week. And I look forward to seeing you all soon. I love y'all. Bye. Great big world out there.